Well, welcome back. Now, 40 U.S. senators are co-sponsoring a resolution for the federal government to take a tougher stance against China's treatment of Hong Kong. Joining me now is Acton Institute President Emeritus and co-founder, Father Robert Sirico. Father Sirico, thanks very much for being here this morning. I know that we have been talking about China so much, and you're also a friend of Jimmy Lai. You have a new documentary coming out about him. He is a friend of this program and joined me many times on this program. In fact, right before his arrest, he said, I think this is going to be my last interview and I'm going to get arrested. And that's exactly what happened. Do you have any information about Jimmy Lai, and how will you assess the China story today?
Well, I was able to have a conversation with someone who sees him regularly. I'd rather not say who that is. Jimmy's commitment is unwavering. He's deepening his spirituality. You know, this is the real threat to dictatorial regimes. The Chinese government is really persecuting not just the people of Hong Kong, but the whole of the mainland. And this tells us what a threat they see religion to be. Now, in the case of Jimmy's entry into this kind of mystical, almost this deeply moral and spiritual commitment to both his own personal religion, but also the freedom of the Chinese people, is what is the greatest threat. And that's why they have to restrict things and control things. And it's damaging Chinese society and Hong Kong as well.
Right. And, the Chinese people are the victims here. The Chinese Communist Party is a wrecking ball for the world. It is now day two of Xi Jinping's visit to Moscow. He's meeting with Vladimir Putin as our adversaries are cozying up. Xi has also invited Putin to visit China. The White House does not seem too concerned, though, Father. I mean, look, here's Fox Business's White House correspondent Edward Lawrence trying to get some answers out of John Kirby yesterday. Watch.
What's the level of concern about the growing influence of China around the world then?
There's no effort to contain here. It's about advancing what President Biden believes are the appropriate foreign policy goals for this country, for the American people, and for the best interests of our allies and partners. They recognize that they don't have that strong foundation of international support for what they're trying to do, which is basically challenge American leadership around the world.
What is he talking about, Father Sirico? I mean, we know what's going on with the CCP, and there's absolutely no pushback whatsoever from this administration.
Not only this administration, but even the Vatican. They almost have a very similar line to kind of be very gentle with China. But this very visit of Xi to Russia is an indication of their desperation. The Chinese populace is aging. Remember that one-child policy, that's a demographic winter that is about to beset China. And what they're trying to do is expand markets and relationships with other people. I think this call on the part of the 40 senators, bipartisan, is a good thing, because what it does is it doesn't allow them to hide behind a shield of silence and obfuscation. And I think this is why the Acton Institute produced this movie on Jimmy Lai, to call attention not just to Jimmy's plight, but the plight of the Chinese people as a whole. We have to expose this. We have to open it up and let the world see what's going on.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Unfortunately, every time China makes a provocation against the U.S. or any ally, we get the same answer from this administration, and that is, we don't seek conflict with China. We seek competition. We don't seek conflict. They've got a surveillance balloon going across the country. We don't seek conflict. They killed 1 million Americans. COVID-19 leaked from the lab. No investigation. We don't seek conflict. They're stealing intellectual property, $1 trillion a year from American business. We don't seek conflict. Guess what, guys? You just had conflict delivered to you on a silver platter. What are you going to do about it?
Well, you know, competition, when people see competition as conflict, that's where you have the problem. And the Marxist ideology of China is exactly that. They see our competition, our capacity to produce, to create, which they imitate and steal, as you've rightly noted, as an aggressive act. So it's either just lay down and take it, or come up with ways that counterbalance this. I think they're really desperate right now, and we need to see that for the reality that it is.
All right.
The film, I should mention, is going to go live online April 18th. And if people want to get notice of that, just go to Jimmy Lai, free Jimmy Lai, LAI.com, and we'll put you on the list, and you'll get to see the documentary that we hope will begin to change things.
All right. We will do that. FreeJimmyLai.com. Thank you, Father Robert Sirico. Good to see you this morning.